I'm here with Max Gourley. Max, tell us how you got into TT. What's the journey?
So I started doing DE back in 2011, way back in the day, and then started progressing through there. Started in NASA in 2016, and then in 2020, I made it after doing all the DE days. I decided to make the jump to TT. I bought a Subaru to jump into TT, and now
Wait, stop right there for a second. What were you driving before DE?
I was driving an Audi S4.
An Audi S4, okay. And what made you want to jump to TT?
I wanted to be a competitor. I like competition, and my car that I was in, it was never going to be to the level of competition because you got to build your car to a certain rule set. So then that's why I decided to build a car. Okay. So I started with a car with a cage, which already had some NASA logbooks in it, and then I just started developing it every year.
And this car, the platform was a Subaru?
The platform was a Subaru.
Okay, and why the Subaru? Any other reason, or it just sort of happened to you?
So an Audi S4 is all-wheel drive, so it felt like a natural transition to go to another all-wheel drive platform because that's what I learned to drive on. So I chose to do the Subaru because of the all-wheel drive platform.
All right, good thing. So you started TT when?
2020.
And I believe you won a championship too?
In
2021.
COVID year.
The TT2 championship. So yes. Awesome. All right, great. Now, I believe that we started at about the same time in TT.
Yes.
Okay. And I've seen the progression of this car. So tell us about your car. What's the weight with you in it and the horsepower at the wheel?
Yep, so I am in TT3 now. The car is 3,400 with me in it, so it usually scales in a little bit above that. And my horsepower rating on a Mustang dyno is 360 to the wheels.
All right, great. Let's look at the heart of this beast. Tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
You got a fully built EJ257 long block, and you have a ETS turbo kit with a Garrett 25550 series turbo. You have Moton Club Sport 2-ways. You have all the parts that are necessary for Subaru to survive the track, which is an air oil separator, a more efficient radiator, and you have Killer Bee oil pan baffle, Roger Clark Motorsports sump, and additionally to that, I rebuilt the STI drivetrain with carbon mesh synchros and JDM gearing. And besides that, I am now on 18x11s with 315 Toyo RRs with
great.
AP racing brakes.
Okay, perfect. So Max, tell us about the aero on this car because there's a lot of aero.
Yeah, so with a VIS Racing carbon fiber hood, it helps evacuate the air out of the engine bay really efficiently. The front of the car is really opened up. It's an INGS wide body kit. So both tunnels are ducted. One's for oil cooling, the other one was for the original intake. And then you have a power steering pump cooler up here. You have the oil cooler down in that duct over there, chrome mount intercooler. Recently just put on the APR carbon fiber mirrors to cut down on drag. And then I went with an AJ Hartman custom wing to fit the class regulation size. So this is
this the Swan?
Swan neck.
Swan neck. Yep. It's beautiful. Yeah, and AJ makes really great aero. And tell us about the safety. What do you have going on here?
So one of the reasons why I bought the car, because it already came caged. That's like one of the biggest barriers to entry to motorsport and safety. You don't need a cage for time trial, but when you're going to the speeds that you're going at, you really should cage up, especially getting into a 6-point harness and a bucket seat. So we have a NASA spec cage, we have a OMPHDRE carbon seat, the Moton Clubway sports suspension canisters are in the cockpit, so for easy adjustments. I have an AccuSump for the oiling system to keep the oil pressure level consistent in the car. Most of my gauges are analog right now. I'm going to be probably moving to a Haltech system next year. So I'm watching all my gauges for oil pressure, oil temps, coolant temps. And then I have a GoPro to record the sessions and an AIM Solo 2. So that way I can do data review and video review to make sure I'm going peak performance, peak fast, and get some coaching feedback from others. So
yesterday you won the class, so TT3. So congratulations on that. Another race today, so good luck.
Yep.
What is your best advice for people that might want to get into TT?
Start building up your experience as a driver through DE and progress through the DE steps. And then when you get the D3, D4 level and you want to make that jump to TT, don't think that it's such a barrier to entry. Just get into TT and get a feel for what competition's like. You can go to TTU and then start getting a feel for open passing, classing your car, and then you can kind of get a feel of like, hey, is my car going to be competitive to this rule set? What rule set you want to go to? And then maybe you build your car towards that rule set, or maybe you find some car that will fit a rule set and be competitive. You see what your other competitors are driving out there.
That's really great advice, and it's everyone's really helpful too, right? So it's not like you're going to go at it alone. You can ask questions.
Yeah, the TT community is really a community of a bunch of other competitors that want to see each other go fast. So everybody in class and outside of class are there to really like, hey, I saw you went through this corner faster than me. Like, how'd you attack that corner? Or, you know, oh, I see that, you know, in this area, you know, I can pick up a couple tenths. Like, I see you're going a little faster there. So everybody wants to see each other be fast and keep competition tight. Yesterday, for example, one of my competitors put down a 27.1, and I'm just like, oh man, I really got to beat that. He pushed me, and I beat him out by a tenth. So he was happy that I beat him. It kind of just was like ever so like, you know, close. So like that's how close the racing can get when you have other competitors pushing you.
Yeah, that's great. And one more thing, Max is going to be representing NASA at Nationals, which is next month at Pit Race. So good luck to you there, and good luck today. And thanks for sharing all of this with us.
Thanks, Alex.